This is an old 16mm movie made in about 1961. That's my son John. He's about 18 months, maybe 2 years. He's going to help with raking the front yard. In this first house up in Simi Valley, it was just a house on a bare piece of ground. Supposed to do. There's my first wife Betty, raking in the yard. This is the back of the house. Again, I paid $15.5 for this thing in about 1961. It was early 60s for sure. That's my ham radio antenna. I was a pretty active ham radio operator even then. And of course, one of the first things to put up is your ham radio antenna. That's me at about age 21, 22, something like that. Putting in the ground cover there for that plot of ground between the sidewalk and the street. I can't remember what those were, probably some little flowers or something. Again, you can see if you look at the neighborhood that everybody has just a bare yard and everybody's going to be planting their grass, and the people who had money would put sod in. People like myself had no money, so we did it from seed. It was actually a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Anyway, this is the front of the house. Right there is where the living room was. There's the front door. Those two windows on the right were the bathrooms back to back. That was one bedroom and the other bedroom bathrooms. And that's the master bedroom. There's me again. He actually turned me on into buying the house. There's my 1954 Ford yellow convertible. It had bright red upholstery. There's Johnny running around like kids do when they're about 2 years old or so. Anyway, I never could figure out why kids wave their hands like that. I don't know what that does for you. Anyway, there's Betty, my wife at the time. And here comes Johnny. I put a pool in just about a year or two after I bought the house. So that was kind of an enjoyment. Again, this movie was taken with 16mm reels, and obviously the quality of the camera wasn't that good because it's terrible photography. There was the little ropes we put around the lawn after we put the seeds in, the lonely palm tree out there. And there is my youngest son, Jim, on his little hobby horse, and he's probably maybe a little over a year. If Johnny was 18 months or 2, then he's probably about a year old. I had 3 kids of my own, Johnny, Janet, and Jim. This is the pool in the backyard, and I can't quite see who that is. I know my brothers, Frankie and Jim, came to visit, and there's some shots in here of them. Jim was 15 years younger, and Frankie was 5 years younger than me. So I'm pretty sure that that might be my youngest brother Jim, who at the time is, see, if I'm say 22 minus 15, so he's 7 or 8, whatever that is. That's him. That's, I think, 7 or 8. Again, just putzing around in the pool here. There's me in the background, going to run and do my famous dive off the diving board. Terrible. Anyway, we did have a lot of fun in that pool. This is up in Simi Valley, California, which is kind of inland, so it's pretty hot. There's that looks like my brother Jim diving off the board. Just amazing how bad these films were, but they're kind of interesting from so many years ago. We put a little badminton court in the back there next to the pool on a piece of grass, which was kind of fun. Again, you got to realize we're in our early 20s. Again, that's my youngest brother Jim. He's, I think, 53 now. 53. That is my youngest son Jim. And there's my wife Betty and the badminton. There's my brother Jim. Again, I think he was maybe 7 or 8 then. I think that's about right. That's my son John and my other son Jim. And there's my wife at the time, Betty. This is obviously sometime after the lawn sprouted, and she's out there doing her duty cutting the grass. You see the grass turned out pretty good, a nice rich green color, did well. I think it cost us about $10 to put that lawn in. One of the things I didn't put in was a sprinkler system, so we had to hand water this thing at the time, which wasn't all that bad. We had one of those oscillating sprinkler things, so kind of interesting. Anyway, that was the house. It's about 1,200, 1,300 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Again, paid $15,500. Here's the backyard. This is back in the corner, looking from obviously the diving board side. Pool was pretty good size. Took up the majority of the backyard. Again, this is just looking from the diving board to the back of the house. We didn't have a dryer at the time, so we had to hang all your clothes up outside on the clothesline, which I guess everybody did at the time. Only the rich people had dryers. We did have a wash machine though, but no dryer. I think that's me. Or it could be my brother. No, that's me. Only I dive so badly. Anyway, there's my daughter Debbie. That's my mother. And my daughter, not Debbie, that's Janet. She's, I don't know, 3 maybe less. I don't know, just little tiny kids. Johnny was the firstborn, Janet was next, and Jim was last. And they were about a year apart. So Johnny must have been about 3, and then Janet was 2, and Jim must have been around 1. So that's more like the time frame, I think. Yeah, God, it's amazing how fast that happens. There's Johnny Weissmiller diving. Yeah, those were the days. Carefree, 3 kids, no money, but we had a pool. That was important. That's, I think that's Janet, the youngest one. And that's Johnny. Again, he's got to be 3 or 4 there. And that looks like Janet again, and she's, I don't know, a year maybe. Kind of hard to get the timing straight. There's Betty. She never could dive. Just smash. That was that. There's Johnny on the raft and Betty pushing around the pool. In the summer, we spent a lot of time in that pool because we had no money, so that was the whole entertainment of the day, was to get up in the morning, jump in the pool, and stay there, barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. And if we had any money at all, we'd go to the drive-in theater. It used to be $1 a carload. We'd load up all the kids and go see whatever they were seeing just to get away. Actually a pretty simple life. Now that looks like my brother, Frankie. In fact, he just passed away here in the middle of August 2009, which is just a few weeks ago. He died of cancer that evening. I had access to an airplane there at Simi Valley Airport, and I used to go flying every once in a while. Yeah, that's my brother, Frankie. There's my mom and my daughter there. So, lots of kids for sure. Again, that's my mom, Helen Zawadzki. You don't get much more Polish than that. That's my wife Betty. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. In fact, she was Elvis Presley's secretary when I met her. I was in Memphis, actually in school there, and I met her at the Officers Club aboard the base there. So, pretty interesting place. Anyway, there's my mom. She used to come visit us a lot. She, being from Detroit, loved to get away. That's me waving something around the circle there. I don't have any idea what that is. Anyway, a lot of pool stuff here for sure. Now, let's see.